Hello, today I am going to go over my full support build on Toram Online, mainly because I'm too lazy to write an amino post right now and I'd rather just do a video, because that would just be so much easier. So anyways, after recreating my support from scratch, after the rollback, I've reached 180 again and redone my build. Completely different gear set than before. I think this is much better, so let's go over that. We'll start out with stats, which is pretty much a given, and that is 250 or full vitality, the rest dexterity, pretty much for cast time, which is a big deal. We'll go to our skills first. First, of course, so that one in arrow is just there because I chose staff. I need to reset that. Anyways, skills. Important, you'll want MP charge 10. Most of you probably know that. This I don't really care about, it's just there so I can get to the next one. Power Wave. This is great because it allows you to stay at a safe distance while auto-attacking for Amper, for mana regeneration. So you want that. Maximizer is also pretty vital if you're going to do any kind of partying at all. You want Maximizer at 10 and you want MP charge at 10. Because, and many of you probably know this, but some of you might not, if you use MP charge before Maximizer, the cast time Maximizer will be shortened according to the skill level of MP charge. So basically, Maximizer is instant cast, and it'll restore almost your full MP bar. Just as a example here. MP charge. Now, as long as you don't use any of their abilities, the next time you try to use Maximizer, instant cast, and that's 1500 MP, which is almost your entire MP bar. Next up we have survival skills. This is pretty much the same for everybody in all classes, but Play Dead is an overlooked skill and is pretty useful because if you die in the middle of a boss fight, it's going to greatly reduce the amount of time before you can revive. And that can be all the difference between winning and losing, especially when you're the healer. Which hopefully as a healer you don't die much, because that isn't very helpful. I'm an HP fan, so I go 10 on HP boost. I also have 10 on MP boost. Of course, obviously, if you can get to your full MP without that, then you can put that somewhere else. Next, the big ones, support skills. I have almost everything maxed. I did not max first aid because heal can be used for first aid. So that kind of defeats the purpose. And you could say, well, you need first aid for mercenaries, it's helpful, but no one's going to bring a support as a mercenary. And if they are, I would question, their understanding of the game. So first aid 5, because I'm not going to use it. Mini heal, I maxed that out because that's a short cast heal, which puts you in a lot less danger than using regular heal. So that's great for supplemental healing. Recovery. That may or may not, you may or may not need to max that. I don't know, I like it because it gives me something to do when I'm not healing or buffing. I can throw recovery on everybody just so it's there. It removes one ailment and stays on for about, I want to say 30 seconds or so until another ailment comes on and it removes that one. And when it removes an ailment, you get that 100 MP back. So that's also nice. Next up, we have Sanctuary. I don't actually use this. It has its uses. It basically is a little aura that reduces the damage taken for all your party. The reason I don't use this is a couple reasons. Mainly because it's really hard to get people to actually stand inside the radius. People are just ignorant usually to what that even means. So you put it down, everyone's just going to stay out all over the place and not even get in there. And also, because depending on where you have to put it, you may be putting it close to the enemy if your party is all physical DPS, and you probably don't want to be standing near the boss. So I don't use that very often at all. It's a very rare occasion I'll actually use it. But I need 5 points to get to this one. Heal. This is, well, for all intents and purposes, your nuke heal, your big heal. It's great. It's like I want to say it's a 2 or 3 second cast time. So it takes a little time to cast, but with cast speed, you can take a lot of that away, which I'll get to here in a bit. Now all these other main support skills here have a penalty. Life recovery. This one scales with the caster's vitality. So that's one good reason for full vitality. Aside from survival and staying alive, full vitality helps increase the amount this heals. I haven't tested the amount, but I've heard it's, something like 300 or something. But while you have this up, it's going to decrease your defense, so you're going to be squishy. Next up, we got Brave Aura. This is basically your buff for physical DPS. This is going to more or less make people do more damage, but it will decrease your accuracy, which may affect your Amper. High Cycle. This will increase cast time by a percentage. I'm not sure what the percentage is, but it is definitely based on the percentage of the base, because mine goes exponentially high when I use this. So I can probably deduce a percentage from that if I, have some time. But of course, the penalty, your MP restoration will be weakened. Quick Motion, everybody's favorite, increases attack speed. Again, percentage based. It will decrease your Amper, so that's something to think about as well. Mana Recharge, just like Life Recovery, but the MP version. It's going to regenerate your MP, or it's going to increase everybody's regeneration rate, which is pretty nice. It reduces your own attack, which, if you're full support, you're probably not even going to care about that, because I don't. I'm not trying to do damage. Magic Barrier increases everyone's defense and armor performance, whatever that means. It will decrease your dodge rate, though. Only the caster. The penalty is only for the caster, by the way, in case, just to make that clear. Immunity. This increases the chance that you resist status elements, but it will lower your attack speed, which again affects your Amper. And finally, Fast Reaction. This enhances guard and evasion rates, but it will reduce your cast speed, and it does significantly reduce your cast speed. So, I use this if I'm, like, for example, if I'm doing Vanina, and my party is a party that has the tank, I might try to use it so the tank benefits. But if I'm in a party that's just like mages, and we're staying way back, and the tank's in the ally party, I probably won't even cast Fast Reaction. Honestly, in Vanina, I mostly just cast the Quick Motion or High Cycle and Brave Aura, depending on what type of DPS is even in my group, because you get damaged so often there, it's really hard to avoid damage. Next, after support skills, we have shield skills, which I'm missing some points to finish this out, but I use Shield Mastery. Enhances attack speed when equipping a shield, which again benefits your Amper. Force Shield, defense, and physical resistance are added when equipping a shield. And same thing, but for magic defense and magic resistance. Then you have these two buffs, which don't cancel when you get hit. Protection, increase physical resistance, but decrease magic resistance. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're fighting a boss that you know does only physical damage, then just cast Protection. But if it's a boss that, might do physical and magic, you're probably going to want to cast both, so you don't end up killing everybody. For same story here, increase magic, reduce physical. But if you cast, I want to say it's 30% that increases, and it reduces the other by 15%. So, if you cast both these, you're still going to get a 15% increase at the end of the day for both. So, there's that. And I think that's all that I have here. Halberd, I have the skills, but I haven't done it. I have this because if you have extra points, you can put some skill points in Quick Aura to increase your attack speed, which will, of course, help you gain Amper faster. I think the only thing I have left to show you probably is my equipment. A while back, I had a different build because I didn't have Bloom of Peace for 100%, minus 100% aggro, so I was using Luminous Mushroom Staff, and everything was minus aggro. Now, all my minus aggro is taken care of right here, so I don't have to worry about minus aggro for the rest of my gear, which gives you a lot more freedom as to what to choose. And really, in my opinion, it's a pretty clear choice. If you're really just going to get the best gear you can get, you can do Bloom of Peace or Candy Corin Staff, which is Event. I personally like Bloom of Peace better because it's got the Amper. I put Zahak Machina in that. I've got the Shampy Doll, Zahak Machina Shield, or the Zahak shield, is also pretty good. I personally like this because I am addicted to HP, and it's got the fractional barrier and a 20% cooldown on the barrier being reused again. Now, Holy Robe, this isn't the crafted version, this is the York drop version. So if you are patient enough to farm it, this is far greater than the crafted version. You got 9 Ampere magic attack up for vitality, which if I was doing attack, that'd be great since I have max vitality, but I'm not. Physical resistance, cast speed 750, which will help a lot. And then I put Noeliel for the 30% cast speed, and Super Death Mushroom for more Ampere. Then I have Nightcap, which by itself is 500 MP, 500 cast speed, which is great. Put Chocolate Ooze in there, which will reduce your HP, unfortunately. But I have enough. And I just bought a cheap 2-slot Machina Ring, because the Machina Ring is really the cheapest way you're going to get 2 slots. You know, if you don't want to dish out for piercers and everything with Taper and Crystal Titan. Now, let me show you something pretty cool. My cast speed unbuffed right now is 3037. So if I do, oops, that's what happens when you have pudgy fingers. If I do Quick Aura, I'm sorry, High Cycle, I go back and check, and now I'm at 5,487 cast speed, which will result in my heals being pretty quick. And it also reduced my cast speed quite a bit for the rest of this stuff, so it's near instant. Now, if I were to, let's do a comparison. Let's just remove my buffs by going to another map. You know, I probably could have just gotten attacked too. That's fine. Okay, now that I've removed my buff, well, you can't see as much of a difference as you would, but you know, it really does make a big difference. In the heat of battle, those extra few seconds make a big difference. So let's show you how much Maximizer does for you here. Almost full MP. Now that I've done High Cycle, let's cast these again and see how faster they are. It doesn't seem like much, but man, when you're in the middle of a boss fight, that seems like an eternity of time difference. And you know what I recommend? I recommended this before, but if you're playing full support, for one, you know, don't say looking for party support, because most people, they don't understand support, so they don't. If you're not bringing DPS to the table, they're of course going to be like, oh well, I don't want to support my team. So you know, I just say looking for party. Once you get in there, and they see how much you bring to the table, they will be very sad to see you leave. Every instance I've been in a group has been like that. So what I recommend though, before getting in a group, I strongly recommend, well, if it's a mini boss, that is, cast all your buffs before you get into a group. Because very few parties are going to sit there and wait for you to spend 10 minutes casting buffs. Like, let me show you how long it takes to get all these buffs up. It takes a while just to get them all ready. And you're going to have to refill your MP multiple times to get all your buffs up and going. Okay, that's 1 MP bar down. Okay, we may only have to refill once. Okay, we left off on... Okay, we have to do... We didn't do Quick Aura. Quick Motion. That one. Then there's that one. And then we have our 2 shield skills. We're going to do those. And then you're still going to have to refill your MP one more time to get ready for battle. So that's how long it takes for you to get those up. So I recommend doing that before you get in a group, because once you get in a group and you start doing that, they're going to be like, when's this guy going to be done casting all these buffs? But you know, it's a really useful thing. I saw that today on the live stream they announced the, well, they didn't announce, but they reviewed some of the dancer and minstrel skills. So that's exciting. I'm not holding my breath much because, you know, I'm not really sure how well it's going to be, but I'm not going to just hope it's going to be great and be disappointed. So I think support is great. If you really play it well, it can be a really good benefit to a team. But I encourage you, if you're doing support, to really learn it, because it takes a little bit of learning, but I think playing support will make you an overall better player. Because what I've noticed from playing support is that after spending some time doing bosses playing support, and I go back to my other characters like my two-hand or my halberd user, I'm so much better at damage avoidance now. Because with support, it's all about avoiding damage. Because as soon as you get hit, like you see all these buffs up here, if I get hit, oh well, dang it, I killed him. I don't want to kill it. Well, if you so much as get hit, hit me, you lose all those buffs. So that means you got to spend all that MP over again to cast all those buffs. In the middle of battle, that sucks to no end. Because you have nothing you're offering to the team other than heals. And you have to sit there and use 2 full bars to get all that up. And hope that nobody dies while you're doing it. So you have to really, really focus on avoiding damage. After doing that, you become really great at just not getting hit. So that's great. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it is beneficial to you in some way. If you want to subscribe, you're welcome to do that, but I won't guilt you into it. But have a great day.